Okay, what's up everyone? It is almost Friday when I'm making this video, which will be posted tomorrow. So since it's going to be posted tomorrow, happy Friday. And I hope that everyone's going to have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. We are at the final video for this week's series of going through the interview process and how to use best practices in order to move along the process and be considered a strong candidate. I do want to make a quick note here that again, I am going through a standard interview process that is best. It is truly up to you if you want to go through interview processes that may require a lot more of you. Some require in person and travel, some require those assessments that I talked about. I personally wouldn't take them, but that is again up to you to do so. But that being said, you are now meeting a final panel or the actual business owner or president, CEO, something along those lines, just kind of like a final gut check. What you want to do is show how much value you can bring to the company. So you've answered a lot of questions so far. It really does feel like a rinse and repeat situation, which to be honest, it is. But what you want to do is come across calm, cool, collected, give the examples of how you would be able to take your skills and help the company, and then what you'd be looking for. And again, make sure you have those questions ready. If you do not have those questions ready about the role, about the company, you really will look unprepared. So make sure that you are asking different questions during each interview. If an interview process is requiring 6 or 7 panels and then individual interviews, I would be wary of that because that's taking up a lot of your time and there's no guarantee that you're going to get the position. So just be careful because some companies I think are making it overly complicated to be hired, and that's only at their own detriment because if you are making it so difficult to be hired, or if you're looking for this needle in a haystack, you're going to be looking for a long time unless you want to actually consider candidates from different backgrounds, consider candidates who have been strong candidates throughout the interview process. That is just a note I want to make. I do not think anyone should be doing 6 or 7 interviews, and if they are, more power to you, but it's not just because you're willing to do it doesn't mean you're going to get the reward at the end. But let's go ahead and say that you have knocked the socks off the CEO and now HR wants to follow up with you or says they'll follow up with you in a couple of days. You're excited, you're nervous, you don't know if you got the job or not, but you know you want to be able to be positive about it even though you're very anxious to find out what the final result will be. So in this scenario, you do get the offer. 2 days later, the recruiter reaches out and goes over the offer with you. And what I would say is very much pay attention to the offer. Pay attention to the benefits. Benefits are so important. I think a lot of people tend to skip over that, but make sure that, especially for your health and for your family, that the benefits will be something that will be good for you and a good cost, and not something that's going to be very expensive and then hard to book doctor's appointments with a certain type of insurance, because that is true. There are some insurance packages that are cheap for the company, but not cheap for you in your pockets, and you deserve to make sure that you have proper benefits. And then just go over anything that you may have discussed earlier, such as potentially hybrid work, or if it's a completely remote role, you don't really need to worry about that part, but more of, what are our standing worker hours? What are we doing in terms of team meetings and onboarding and all of that? Make sure you walk through all of that, and then again, make sure that the salary is around what you had initially discussed. So again, I mentioned in our last video that when someone asks you about your salary expectations, what you should do is just kick the question back to them and say, well, what is your range? And that will reveal a lot more. So it's in your range, you got the offer, congratulations. And I want to make sure that you understand the difference between just going through the process and not providing examples of your work, not saying thank you to the people who took their time to interview you. Not doing those things will not set you up to be a final candidate. In fact, so many people don't do this that it will set you aside as a final candidate. And again, just going back real quickly to the thank you letter, when you do have that final interview, make sure you give a thank you letter to everyone that may have been a part of it. It's not hard to figure out someone's email. Go to the recruiter, ask for their email directly, or look at the recruiter's email and how it's phrased. Maybe their name is April Wilson, so it's awilson@company.com. Very likely that the people who interviewed you are going to have a very similar type of email with first initial, last name at company. So make sure you write that out and then repeat once again 1 or 2 examples of how you would bring value to the role. So that summarizes our week, and I hope this was helpful. Next week, we're going to go through the same process, but we're going to make it so that you're not doing the best job, or you're moving along the interview process anyway, and then you're not going to get the position. We're going to talk through what are your strategies to recover from that, and what are your next steps in terms of getting another interview so that you can get the job that you dream of. I hope this helps. As just a reminder, Crawford Consulting is here to help you. If you need help, please reach out to crawfordconsultinginfo@gmail.com or go to our website at acconsulting.online, and you can see the different packages as well. And always make sure that all consultations, not make sure, but just know that all consultations are 20 minutes and they are free. So if you do need a free consultation, reach out and we will get that set up for you. Again, I hope this helps. Happy Friday.